Hi, this is Mr. Ozek here, and in this video we're continuing with our exploration of complex numbers. So in this video we're going to figure out how to multiply complex numbers. And again, complex numbers are numbers that consist of imaginary part and a real part. So this complex number z1 is 3 plus 2i, and I have another complex number z2, which is equal to 4 plus I. If I wanted to find out what's the result of multiplication of z1 times z2, first of all I would write the two numbers in the bracket beside each other. So the space between the brackets indicates to me that I'm multiplying the terms in the bracket. So this is no different than your standard algebraic multiplication, because in this particular case what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the first term by the second bracket and the second term of the first bracket by the second bracket. So if you do this if you do this operation, you would have 3 multiplied by 4 plus I plus 2i multiplied by 4 plus I. So then if I do this calculation, I'm going to end up with 12 plus 3i plus 8i, and this is an important part. Multiplying 2i times I gives me plus 2i squared. Okay, so let me just tidy it up a little bit. I have 12 plus 3i plus 8i equals to 12 plus 11i plus 2i squared. I couldn't put 2i squared together with the 11i because I is squared. Now I want you to try and remember the first video about complex numbers. In that video we said that number I is equal to square root of minus 1. And if we get I squared, it's the same as square root of minus 1 multiplied by square root of minus 1, which gives us a result of minus 1. So wherever I see I squared in my calculation, in my operation, I'm going to replace that number with minus 1. So to simplify this multiplication further, I can rewrite it as 12 plus 11i plus 2 multiplied by minus 1. So 2 multiplied by minus 1 is simply minus 2, and that's plus 11i I can rewrite, and 12 can be rewritten as well. So finally I can simplify to get the result of this operation, which will be 12 minus 2 is 10 plus 11i. And this is the result of multiplying of two complex numbers z1 and z2. The key thing that we need to recognize in dealing with complex number multiplication is this fact. The fact that wherever we see I squared, the I squared can be replaced with minus 1. So let's take a look at another example. Let's say that z1 equals to 4 minus I, and let's say that z2 equals to 1 plus I. So z1 multiplied by z2 equals to 4 minus I, that has to be in the bracket, multiplied by 1 plus I. So then I'm going to follow exactly the same procedure as previously, which is multiply the first term in the first bracket by the second bracket, and multiply the second term in the first bracket by the second bracket. If I carry out the multiplication, the resulting expression will be 4 plus 4i minus I squared. The reason why it's minus I squared is because minus I times plus I is minus I squared. I'm going to remember that I squared equals to minus 1. So minus I squared equals to minus 1 which equals to 1. So minus I squared can be replaced with plus 1. So finally I'm going to get 4 plus 3i and plus 1, and that will be tidied up to give me 5 plus 3i, which is the result of multiplying those two complex numbers. One more example, let's say that z1 equals to 2 plus 2i and z2 equals to minus 4 plus 3i. So to multiply z1 by z2, I'm going to write the first bracket multiplied by the second bracket, carry out the same set of steps, multiply the first term from the first bracket by the second bracket, and multiply the second term from the first bracket by the second bracket. So if I do the multiplication, I'm going to end up with minus 8 plus 6i minus 8i plus 2i times 3i is plus 2 times 3 is 6, I times I is plus 6i squared. I remember that I squared is equal to minus 1 and 6i squared equals to 6 multiplied by minus 1, which is equal to minus 6. So I replace plus 6i squared with minus 6, and that gives me minus 8 plus 6i minus 8i and minus 6. And if I tidy it up, I'm going to get the result of minus 14 from minus 8 minus 6 minus 2i from 6 minus 8i. And that's the result of this multiplication. Again, to multiply complex numbers, we multiply the first by the second, and we remember, always this is the key thing for multiplication of complex numbers, we remember that I squared equals to minus 1, and wherever we see I squared we replace it with minus 1, and through that we get to the result of our multiplication. In the next video in the series, we're going to take a look at the more complex or more difficult operation of division of two complex numbers. And to do that, we're going to introduce the notion of complex conjugate. So thank you for watching.